Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good day and welcome back to Spar&Brawl. So the second headline of a Harrods article published just yesterday reads, Attempts by Gantz and Netanyahu to buy more time have failed, turning their coalition into a zombie government until the anticipated March ballot. So Sam, why is it that Israel is having its fourth election in just 2 years?
Uh, well, the why of it, I'll get to the why of it, but yeah, as you mentioned, this is the fourth election in the last 2 years, and it's quite I mean, for the last 2 years, basically um, the fight has been between Netanyahu and his Likud party government against sort of a center-left coalition, not really center-left, really center coalition led by Benny Gantz, blue and white coalition. And these two have been going at it 3 times, and to be honest, nobody uh, won basically decisively. They every time they came to a standstill. Last time, with the brokerage of the president and many officials, they finally came to an agreement that meant that Netanyahu is going to be prime minister first, and in 2021 November, Benny Gantz is going to take over, and until then he's going to have a new position of alternative prime minister. And well, that kind of that leads to the why this election is happening now, because uh, Benny Gantz's main promise, his fundamental promise to his coalition, was that he's not going to go into a government with a prime minister who's under indictment for corruption. But he did in the end. He went into a unity government with him, and that led to a collapse of his coalition, basically. And that's the main reason why this election is happening. But the specific reason right now is that they are not agreeing on on the budget, and that's why the coalition between Likud and the blue and white coalition is falling apart.
Okay, so the immediate reason why they're having an election is because they couldn't find a budget. They couldn't reach
Agree.
agree on a budget for 2020, and apparently they've been using the same budget as 2018. So this is the second year in a row where they couldn't reach an agreement, right?
It seems so, yeah.
Okay, but so this budget thing is kind of the final nail in the coffin. But would the real lingering issue the past year or two would have been the corruption charges that Netanyahu was under?
And yeah, I mean that's the main issue in Israeli politics right now in many ways, that and coronavirus. But I would say the timing. I think the timing is largely because it's a year before it's Benny Gantz's turn to basically take over as the prime minister. And
Yeah.
to be honest, most analysts, even at the time when they went into the coalition, said that this is not going to happen. Netanyahu is not going to hand over the premiership to you. And so that's
Yeah.
part of
I,
it.
I
And
even read that
right now, sorry.
I even read that these next 3 months he was supposed to give it to him now that they're having an election, but they found that he somehow found a loophole that he doesn't have to give the
Oh, really? I didn't
yeah.
know about. I need to check that out. But yeah, that's part of it, and his support in between the among the public and among the his coalition of officials has plummeted. So he's fucked, and basically. Another reason is that Netanyahu's case is coming up soon in February, if I'm not mistaken. There are going to be hearings and people going to start talking. So he thinks that if he manages to boost his standing in the parliament, he may be able to somehow probably, that's what I've been reading on New York Times and other outlets, that he may be able to influence the case somehow, or pass that pass the bill that gives immunity to the prime minister, or something like that. So I think the timing, I mean, I think the budget is just the red herring, really. That these are the main causes of why this election is happening right now: the collapse of center left and the upcoming corruption hearings.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you what is different about this election compared to the previous ones. But before that, I just wanted to ask you about Netanyahu's opposition. So Netanyahu himself, of course, he has a right-wing party, and over the years, typically their opposition was some kind of left-wing party. But right now, the opposition is like a center to a center-right party as well, right? And apparently, that's one thing that's also been giving Netanyahu, problems in articulating his arguments.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, what's different about this election is that, among other things, the first quick two things are the corruption charges we talked about. I mean, it's been, to be honest, these Netanyahu been what wrestling with corruption allegations and allegation charges and allegation hearings for many years. So maybe that's not that different, but it's coming to a head, so to speak. And the coronavirus, because coronavirus's government response hasn't been as good as people wanted it to be, like most governments, to be fair. I mean, he's been touting the quick start of vaccination in Israel right now. But in general, apparently businesses and the public are not happy with the response overall. So these two are, but the other major thing is, as you mentioned, is the fact that now center left has completely collapsed because Benny Gantz went into the coalition with Netanyahu, and due to that, the right and majority of people, according to most polls, identify as right wing, and it seems, and there are major figures who were former allies of Netanyahu, like Naftali Bennett, who I think was the defense minister, and he's had his own party for the last few years, and a new guy who was the former and popular education minister. I'm sure I'm pronouncing this wrong. I apologize. Zev Elkin, uh, who set up a new party as well, and there was a cabinet minister just a couple of days ago who defected from the Likud party to this party. So these people are challenging Netanyahu's authority. They may, I mean, I doubt they'll be able to, uh, outset Likud. They may be able to damage Netanyahu, and because their problem is mainly with Netanyahu, probably, like they think he should, it's more, they don't, I mean, they're all extremely right wing. I don't think there are real idea. I mean, they try to top each other in terms of ideology, but I don't think there are real ideological differences between them. And by the way, we mentioned the corruption, we mentioned the coronavirus, we mentioned now the right-wing challengers that are some of the former cabinet ministers and all of that. And by the way, corruption charges has led to protests in Israel, so it's not like it's a major issue. But Netanyahu is in a very good position in terms of his traditional allies they don't have much support at the moment. He has started a very early vaccination. He has managed to come to a deal with four Arab nations that they formerly did not have relations with. So he's in a very strong position. If I was betting, I would bet that
I
he would
see. Well,
probably win.
I see, and you highlighted why you think that he's in a good position. But based on what I was kind of reading, it seems like perhaps this is not a really good position for him for once and for all in like after 2 years to really win this election and not have to form a coalition given the corruption charges and all this. But do you think this is actually a decent time out of the past 2 to 3 years for him to finally secure the government?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would think so because I mean, I don't think he expected the right wing opposition in the last few weeks that suddenly they've unify and solidify somewhat into two parties and all that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think it's a good time for him. He just had signed four great deals with because Biden is going to take over, so his foreign policy achievements are certainly going to be more limited as time goes by, and his opposition is in disarray. So I think it's perfect time, really.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted you to, I don't know if you have anything more to add, but I wanted to wrap up this video at the end with that laundry story. If you want to tell like a very short version of it at the end.
Oh, the last.
But before that, I just thought of this guy. What happened to was his name Lavrov? The guy with the Russian background?
Lavrov is the Russian foreign minister,
Lavrov
but
is the Russian foreign minister. Okay, but you know how there's like a Russian background
I
politician in Israel?
I mean, I'm
Who,
sure there are
who
many, but maybe you're
the
referring to
main one?
Zev Elkin, because Zev Elkin used to be the guy who used to be his even interpreter and a strategic something to do with
No, this
Russia.
guy
Because
was like his opposition at times, like over the past few years and stuff. But he was
Ehud
also right.
Barak,
Bad with names. Okay, maybe I'm messing stuff up. Let's forget about that. Okay, anything else on this story that you want to add before you share the Bibi laundry story?
no, no, no. It's
Okay, so
yeah,
let's
that's about
wrap up
the
with the
Bibi
Bibi
laundry
laundry
story.
story.
That's a great story that there were accusations. I don't think they were ever confirmed, so this is a bit of a gossip. But yeah,
Wait, they were
that
published in mainstream news sources, right? Not that that
sure,
confirms
sure.
them, but yeah.
But you know, it's not really that important as well. It was about the fact that apparently Netanyahu's the family, the wife, as well as Bibi, they both of them, Benjamin and Sarah, they take their dirty laundries with them when they go stay in foreign countries, because then they can give it to the, to the laundry, to the hotel or whatever they're staying, and have it done, and then the host country has to pay for it. So yeah, they're cheap steaks basically. That was the gist of it. But it was a great, it's I find it very funny.
Yeah.
I can't tell it in a very funny manner, but yeah.
Okay, so there is still a good 3 months
It,
to go. So we'll keep on following this story until the
oh yeah,
elections. And then, like you said, Biden is coming. Coronavirus is still around. Yes, vaccination has started, but vaccination has started in so many countries, and it's the very beginning. Although Israel has a small population, so there is a chance that if they get the doses that they need, maybe by March or April, they could vaccinate a lot of people. But anyway, if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll keep our eyes on this story, and we'll see you in our next video.